The story of MK Ultra begins in a world divided by suspicion and fear. After World War II, the United States and the Soviet Union faced off in the Cold War, a battle of secrets, not soldiers. Both sides were obsessed with gaining the upper hand, not just with weapons but with the human mind. American leaders heard chilling stories, captured soldiers confessing to crimes they never committed, seemingly brainwashed by communist enemies. The idea of mind control terrified the CIA. They feared the Soviets had discovered a way to erase memories, implant new ones, and control people's actions. The CIA's mission shifted. If the enemy could control minds, America needed to catch up, fast. The agency dreamed of creating the perfect spy, immune to torture, or even turning enemy leaders into puppets. In this climate of paranoia, ethical lines blurred. National security became the excuse for extreme measures. The CIA's leaders believed any method was justified to protect their way of life. Rules were bent, and oversight faded away. Driven by fear, the CIA launched a top-secret program to unlock the secrets of mind control. This program would become known as MK Ultra. Its legacy would be one of the darkest chapters in American history. The race to control the mind had begun. MK Ultra was the CIA's code name for a secret program launched in 1953. Its goal to discover ways to control the human mind. The CIA wanted to know if they could force people to act against their will, erase memories, or create new ones. MK Ultra wasn't a single experiment, it was over 150 projects, hidden in universities, hospitals, prisons, and companies. Researchers often had no idea the CIA was behind their work. The agency used these institutions as a cover, funding bizarre and dangerous experiments in total secrecy. The scope was vast. Drugs, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and psychological torture were all explored. Anything that could weaken or reprogram the mind was fair game. The project's leaders saw the mind as a machine to be dismantled and rebuilt. Their aim wasn't to heal, but to break and control. MK Ultra was about weaponizing the mind for the Cold War's secret battles. It was a search for the ultimate tool of manipulation. The program's secrecy and ambition made it uniquely dangerous. From the start, MK Ultra crossed ethical lines in pursuit of power. Its legacy would haunt science and government for decades. At the center of MK Ultra was Sidney Gottlieb, a chemist with a dark mission. Gottlieb led the CIA's chemical division, blending science with espionage. He was given sweeping authority and a huge budget. Almost no one questioned his decisions. Gottlieb was both a quiet family man and a mastermind of poisons and mind-altering drugs. He traveled the world with a kit of toxins, ready for covert operations. His belief in the CIA's mission justified his actions, no matter how extreme. Under his leadership, MK Ultra became a personal laboratory for mind control. Gottlieb was obsessed with LSD, convinced it could break down and rebuild personalities. He personally oversaw hundreds of LSD experiments, pushing his team to take bigger risks. His ambitions went beyond truth serums. He wanted to erase memories, create programmed spies, and control thoughts. Gottlieb's relentless search for mind control power made MK Ultra especially dangerous. With almost no oversight, he shaped a project that would leave a trail of suffering. The fate of countless lives rested in the hands of one man's obsession. MK Ultra's darkness began with Gottlieb's vision. MK Ultra's most infamous experiments involved drugs, especially LSD. The CIA bought the world's supply of LSD, dosing hundreds of people to study its effects. They wanted to know if it could confuse, break, or manipulate people during interrogations. Experiments were reckless. LSD was tested in real-world settings, not just labs. In Operation Midnight Climax, the CIA set up secret brothels, drugging unsuspecting men and watching their reactions through two-way mirrors. These experiments were illegal, unethical, and dangerous. MK Ultra's arsenal included heroin, morphine, mescaline, psilocybin, and barbiturates, anything that might alter behavior. Researchers combined drugs in bizarre ways, hoping to shatter mental defenses. Beyond mind-altering substances, Gottlieb's team developed poisons and biological agents for covert assassinations. They experimented with toxins that could kill without a trace, and studied diseases as potential weapons. MK Ultra wasn't just about mind control. It was a search for any secret weapon in the Cold War. The program blurred the line between science and warfare. The pursuit of power led to a legacy of chaos and harm. MK Ultra's drug experiments remain a symbol of scientific abuse. MK Ultra didn't stop at drugs, it delved into hypnosis and psychological torture. The CIA funded research to see if hypnosis could create Manchurian candidates, people programmed to obey commands without memory. Experiments combined hypnosis with drugs, trying to implant secret identities or break moral boundaries. These methods often left subjects mentally fractured and deeply harmed. Sensory deprivation was another tool. Subjects were isolated in darkness and silence, sometimes for days. Researchers believed this would erase the mind, making it easier to reprogram. Sleep deprivation, verbal abuse, and humiliation were also used to break resistance. The goal was always the same: to find the mind's breaking point. MKUltra systematically explored every method of psychological torture. The damage to subjects was real, even when results were inconclusive. The program's cruelty was as shocking as its ambition. Most MKUltra victims never knew they were part of an experiment. The CIA couldn't ask for volunteers, so they targeted the vulnerable prisoners, addicts, and mental patients. These people were used as test subjects without consent, a profound betrayal of trust and ethics. In prisons, inmates were dosed with LSD for weeks, suffering terrifying side effects, while doctors took notes. The CIA also experimented on its own employees, sometimes slipping LSD into their drinks without warning. The most tragic case was Frank Olson, a CIA scientist dosed without his knowledge who later died under mysterious circumstances. The agency's actions showed a complete disregard for morality. The ends were seen as justifying any means, no matter how illegal or cruel. Hospitals became secret labs and ordinary people became guinea pigs. The decision to experiment without consent is MKUltra's darkest legacy. It exposed the dangers of unchecked power. The victim's suffering was hidden for years. For nearly 2 decades, MKUltra remained hidden from the public. But in the 1970s, America's trust in government collapsed after Vietnam and Watergate. Journalists and politicians began investigating rumors of CIA abuses. In 1974, Seymour Hersh exposed illegal CIA spying, sparking outrage and congressional investigations. The Church Committee, led by Senator Frank Church, began digging into the CIA's darkest secrets. Fearing exposure, the CIA director ordered MKUltra documents destroyed. Thousands of pages were lost. But a filing error saved about 20,000 financial records, giving investigators crucial clues. These records revealed payments to universities, hospitals, and researchers. Public hearings exposed shocking stories of drug tests, hypnosis, and psychological torture. The truth about Frank Olson's death finally reached his family. The hearings, broadcast nationwide, stunned the country. MKUltra's secret world was dragged into the light. The revelations shattered the CIA's reputation. Americans saw the dark side of government secrecy. The era of blind trust was over. The exposure of MKUltra horrified the nation and the world. The CIA's reputation was shattered. Trust in government plummeted. Congress responded with new laws and permanent oversight committees to rein in intelligence agencies. President Ford banned drug testing on unwitting subjects. These reforms aimed to prevent another MKUltra. For victims, justice was elusive. Most records were destroyed, making it nearly impossible to prove their suffering. Some, like Frank Olson's family, received settlements and apologies, but most got nothing. The full story of MKUltra and its victims may never be known. The scandal also fueled conspiracy theories and inspired countless books and films. Sometimes fiction blurred the real horrors of the program. The true consequence was the damage to real people and the erosion of public trust. MKUltra's legacy is a warning about secrecy and unchecked power. Its lessons remain urgent today. MKUltra may seem like history, but its lessons are urgent. It shows what happens when government operates in total secrecy, unchecked by law or public scrutiny. The program is a warning. Fear and righteous causes can justify terrible acts. Oversight and transparency are essential. Secret agencies must never be above the law. Citizens and journalists must keep asking hard questions. MKUltra also raises questions about science and ethics. The doctors involved broke their oath to do no harm, using knowledge to hurt, not heal. Today, advances in neuroscience and AI make these lessons even more relevant. We must set strong ethical boundaries as we explore new frontiers of the mind. MKUltra is about real people, victims whose lives were destroyed by secrecy and betrayal. Remembering their stories honors them and guards against repeating the past. The true legacy of MKUltra is a call to defend human dignity and freedom. We must never let fear and secrecy trample those values again.